All right, it's the Android Headline Show. Tonight is, let's see, it's Thursday, so we're throwing you off a little bit. Had some stuff going on, so we're broadcasting on Thursday night this week instead of Tuesday. Next week we'll be right back on Tuesday as usual. Um, but my name's Jeremiah. I'm joined tonight by Nick and Alex from the site. You guys want to say what's up?
What's up, everyone?
Was that? Why not?
Hey, why not? Um, so yeah, we got a lot to talk about. We have a lot to talk about. A bunch of leaks. The LG G3 is leaking all over the place, worse than the M8 ever did right before it was released. So the only thing we don't have yet is a full video walkthrough, which we'll probably have sometime in the next week. New Nexus devices. These were really exciting. So HTC tablet called the Flounder and an Android TV box called the Molly. Those are just internal names. Google names all their Nexus devices after fish internally. So the Galaxy S5 is selling like crazy. So is Sony's line of Xperia devices. OnePlus One. Still some crap happening there. So that's what happens when you're a brand new company and push a device out from nothing to launch in 5 months. There's a little bit of growing pains. You run into some hiccups. But let's jump into these new Nexus devices, man. This is probably the most exciting thing to me that we heard all week. So a changelog for Android 4.4.3 popped up on the AOSP site. The changelog is like 4,000 lines. It's huge. So there's a lot that's going to be changing with 4.4.3 when that update rolls out, because Google's got some new stuff coming. Android TV, Android Wear. A lot of it's going to be about Android Wear and getting those watches, getting devices ready for those watches. They're also probably gearing up, starting just a little bit to kind of play with some of the Project Ara stuff. So they were saying we're going to get a big Android update in the fall to support Project Ara hardware, but we might see some of that code leaking a little bit as well. But this changelog had listed two devices. One was an HTC, and one was from Google. So we've been hearing rumors of this HTC tablet, probably an 8.9 inch tablet. I think might have been 8.2, but I might be thinking about the LG G Pad. But just a little bit bigger than an 8-inch tablet. It's going to be called the Nexus 8, and coming from HTC. So we'll get an HTC Nexus device. We haven't had one of those since the Nexus 1.
And an HTC tablet, which we haven't had in like 2 years.
Yes, because the last time we had an HTC tablet, it was garbage.
The Flyer, right?
But it had a stylus.
It was longer than 2 years because it was before ICS, and that's like 3 years now.
Oh yeah, you're right.
Yep.
Gosh, it has been a while.
Yeah, a long time.
But this code in here had one of the lines said project device / HTC / Flounder, and the other one was device / Google / Molly. The Molly one specifically said, what's the code here say? Set BT minor code to set top box. So Android TV is coming to Google I/O. It's not been officially confirmed, but it's going to happen at the end of June. So this is the hardware for that. They're testing it. It's more than likely going to launch with Android 4.4.3, which we may actually see a push. We get Android 4.4.3 right before I/O. We might see that like the beginning of June, maybe the middle of June. And just a couple weeks before I/O this year. But yeah, pretty exciting. And then the HTC tablet we've been hearing about for a while. The HTC was working on one. That doesn't necessarily mean that the next Nexus phone, which is probably going to be called the Nexus 6 according to some other leaks that we saw this week, it doesn't mean that phone is going to be made from HTC, because the current Nexus 7 is Asus and LG made the Nexus 4 and 5. So
Yeah, and
uh,
it's going to be interesting, I think, especially with the naming, to see if that still represents the screen size, or if they're going to get all crazy with their naming convention and screw it up.
I don't think we're going to see a 6-inch
mm-mm.
device or phone from HC or from Google because they don't seem keen on like the phablet craze like many other people are. That's why
Yeah,
a lot of people won't buy a Nexus.
exactly. I don't know. It's
Yeah,
just
I think
I
that the 6 is just the next one in the line. If we see a size increase at all, it'll only be to like 5.2 inches.
Yeah.
I just don't know what they're going to do after that because we already have a Nexus 7.
2015 is supposed to usher in the end of the Nexus line, right? Replace it with Android Silver. So that would take care of that,
Supposedly.
supposedly.
Yeah, I mean it would.
So we got our first question already too, which is fantastic. John wants to know: is Nick in a cave?
Yep.
And the answer is yes. We banished him from his home and
Yeah,
he now has to broadcast from a cave.
yeah. I've been playing too much Dark Souls too, so it's kind of a natural thing at this point.
That's where
That
you end up.
explains his pixelated video.
Yep.
Yep. Um, but yeah, man, I'm super excited to see both of these devices. I'm ready to replace my Google TV and see another Nexus device from HTC. It's funny how when Google first launched the Nexus program, it wasn't just about a developer device, you know. It was also about getting these companies exposure. So HTC got the first one, Samsung got the second one, and the third one, and blew up. Absolutely blew up. LG got the Nexus 4 and 5, and they're trending to blow up this year. The G2 is making them some money. The G Pro 2, and now the G3 is looking absolutely killer.
Well, if
So,
they'd actually released the G Pro 2, they'd make some money.
well, yeah.
It's only in Korea, as far as I know.
Yeah, but well, they may have just held off on that because the G3 was coming out so quickly.
Yeah.
So maybe we'll see the G Pro 2 in the fall. LG switches and lines up their release cycle with Samsung's. It could happen. You know, it's just released in Asia until the fall. I don't know, but it's interesting to me that Samsung HTC back in the day made some of the best phones, and then Samsung got the Nexus device, got the next two Nexus devices, and absolutely exploded. LG got a couple, and they've turned things around also. So HTC's been struggling. Maybe we get some Nexus devices from them and see them kind of.
Hopefully.
So yeah, absolutely. Hopefully, I'm hoping that's what happens. So speaking of the G3, it's leaking all over the place. We saw like 5 or 6 leaks this week. Just since I put together the agenda for tonight, there's been like 3 or 4 more today.
Yeah.
So this thing is, we've seen a short video from LG that teases it. So it's got OIS Plus and a brushed metal back. So that silver brushed metal, we can confirm that from LG. Nice to see that OIS is still in there too. The render
And OIS Plus at that, right?
right, which I don't know.
Whatever the heck that means.
Right, I don't know what the difference
Yeah,
is.
I think it's just marketing because they put OIS Plus in the G Pro 2 as well. And there was a little bit of a difference when they, I forget what site did it, but some site did like a camera comparison between the two. And there was a little bit of a difference, but not a huge difference, in my opinion.
It shows off better on video.
Yeah.
It's enough to throw a plus in there, I guess.
Hopefully it'll give us 4K out of the box
4K.
It probably will.
because we had to use that camera mod to get it on the G2.
Yeah. We saw the device in the wild with a quick cover case from, I don't know where that come from. Over a Chinese site, I think.
Yeah, it was like Siku or something. I guess that's like one of their social networks.
Yep, and the quick cover is a circle too, not a square.
Yep.
Yep.
It was Korean, not Chinese.
Yes.
Site that leaked it, but
so it's in line with Google's changes too, because they've been making the avatar circle, all that kind of stuff. Seems to be everybody's moving towards circle stuff for whatever reason.
They also have a round clock widget that probably fits in there. It was on one of the press hunters from earlier today.
Yep.
I think EvLeaks put that one out. And it just looks like a minimal clock widget, really, from what I could see.
yeah. So we can pretty much confirm the 5.5-inch display also.
Yeah.
Now this was pretty crazy, and I don't remember the exact measurements, but the bezel on this is almost a full millimeter smaller than the G2.
It's ridiculous.
So I think the G2 bezel is on the sides. I think it's like 2.3 or 2.5 millimeters.
It's already like really tiny.
It's already insane. See, I'm wondering what they're going to do with cases, because most of these phones, you have these cases with the raised edge on the side, and when you have little bezels, you almost can't use the side of the screen.
Right. So this is supposed to have. So the G2 was like 2.3 or 2.5. I believe, if I read this correctly, and if I'm remembering this correctly, what I read, the G3 is going to be 1.23 millimeters.
What?
So like I said, it's a little more than 1 whole millimeter smaller. They almost cut the bezels in half from what they are on the G2.
Which I didn't think was possible.
Nope. And that also means that the 5.5-inch screen it's going to be hardly bigger than the G2 at 5.2 inches.
It's probably going to be about the size of the Galaxy S5 overall, even though it's got almost half an inch bigger display.
Yep. So, and this thing is looking amazing. We confirmed the 2K display too, 2560 by 1440. I think was what it was confirmed at. Snapdragon 8. Some of these other specs haven't been confirmed yet. Snapdragon 805, 3 gigs of RAM, 32 gigs of internal storage, 3200 milliamp hour battery. Those are, I think, still rumors. I don't know that those other specs have been confirmed.
The battery, we've been saying like 2 different ones, which I'm thinking, because one was removable, one isn't, that we'll see the non-removable here, because the G2 in Korea has a removable one, but it's smaller than the one here. I think it's like 2600 milliamps over there, and we have a 3000 milliamp battery in ours.
Okay, yeah, and that makes sense. I'd much rather have. I'm fine with not having it removable. Just get a portable.
Especially with this battery life.
Yeah, you're not. Now with that display though, the processor's going to have to push more to push all those pixels, and the screen's a little bit bigger. So
that's why I'm hoping it's a little bit bigger battery, like 3500 or even 32.
The battery life's not going to be stellar, but it'll still be good,
Because with them
never know.
That's true. I think I said something similar about the G2, and it gets really good battery life. So
it gets ridiculous battery life.
Yep.
I think I see Alex post almost every day. Got like 12 hours today of screen time, and I'm like, what the heck, man? This is like it's like 3 days worth of my Note 3. I don't even understand this.
I'm at 81% right now. And it's been unplugged for like 13 hours.
Even if you've been on Wi-Fi all day, it doesn't matter. It's still...
Man, I tell you, at this point, just about the only thing that can sway me away from the OnePlus One is this thing. And it's looking more and more like I might just have to figure out how to pay for it.
And you might just have to do that, man. I might just have to do that also.
Well, who knows if we'll ever be able to get a OnePlus One, so...
Right.
Yeah, right. You'll probably be able to get a G3 like a year before the OnePlus One.
Mm-hmm.
Maybe so.
At this rate, with them shipping out empty boxes.
Yep. So that's a good segue. We'll just jump right into that, man, because that was hilarious. Also, we've got some other news and stuff I want to hit. We'll come back to it. So the OnePlus One winners are starting to get their phones. For the contest, the 100 people that were chosen to smash their phone, send in a video, or donate it. You have that option. But those phones are showing up without a charger and without a SIM tool, so you can't. You just got to get like a safety pin or paper clip or something to pop the SIM card out. It comes with a micro USB cable, but no wall adapter to charge it. And their response was, with this contest, we had to get the phones sent out, but all the packaging, everything wasn't finalized, wasn't ready yet, so we're just sending them out as is. Which, again, is fine. I shouldn't say that. It's not fine. But it is understandable, being that they're rushing this out. 0 to phone launch in 5 months. And
I mean, you'd think they'd be able to just throw in a charger and a SIM card to it, even if it's not the actual retail box. I mean, because if you don't already have a phone that has a micro USB charger, or one that you need a SIM card to take the SIM card out, the phone's kind of useless. It's just a Wi-Fi device.
Well, and hey, they smashed their old phones, right? So they have no need for the extra charger. Well, they can use it.
Right. That's a good point.
I mean, for me, it wouldn't be a problem because I have a ton of SIM card tools and a ton of chargers. So.
And that was my first thought was, well, it's not a big deal, but they're sacrificing quality.
Yeah,
is what's happening. They're sacrificing quality. They're sending out devices that there's a bunch of people that got to go out to Southern California, and I think it was Southern California.
Somewhere in California.
To the Cyanogen Inc. headquarters and check out a OnePlus One, and it just wasn't finalized. Like the hardware's probably done, but they wouldn't commit to that either. And the software's definitely not done. There's all kinds of bugs, and so.
Yeah, a few other sites have gotten a review in it from that little event they did in California, and they're saying too that the software isn't like anywhere near done. There's all kinds of bugs and stuff.
Yep, like flow and things like that.
I think it's like Andrew from Android Central, when he puts like his phone down, his OnePlus One, it just starts playing music on Google Play Music.
It just opens up on its own. Yeah.
Yeah. Which is pretty funny.
I think Tim from Droid Life went out there too and said they both of those guys said they have the device, but they can't review it. They'll put down some initial thoughts on it, but they can't review it. Even the camera, none of the software is finalized. So again, it's just not quite ready. We're not supposed to see retail units for another month or month and a half.
They don't even know when retail units will be done, because they said May, then they said June, then they said late May, and I think they're back to June now.
Yeah.
They should have just kept it under wraps for another month.
So we did get a question about this too. John also asked, if I smash a phone, will you send me an empty box? That's a hilarious question, because one of these winners, yes, John, that is the correct answer. We will send you an empty box. One of these winners got a box from OnePlus, and it was empty.
With a note. Don't forget the note.
Phone.
Not even a phone box. It was something about. It's some note that's in like every box. I forget exactly what it was about.
Oh, it said this is only the beginning.
This is only the beginning.
Yeah, that's it.
Yep.
But there's like no phone box in there or anything. Just that little piece of paper in the box from DHL.
Yep. So there are a couple things that could have happened here. Yeah, somebody could have stole it. Somebody in the shipping might have popped the box open and stole his phone.
Well, OnePlus is saying that's what happened, because they said that they triple-checked all their shipments before they sent them out. But if like DHL took it out the box, why would they seal it back up and still send it to them? Usually, if that happens, they keep the box and don't send it to the.
That's true.
Yeah.
Person getting it.
Who knows? Maybe somebody along the way, grabbed the phone out of there, sealed it back up, and threw it back in the shipping line.
How many people at DHL are gonna know what that is coming from, where it's coming from?
Well, that's the thing. They're not gonna know what it is, but they're gonna know that it's some kind of electronic device. And dude, that stuff happens all the time. I had a buddy who works at. I think he used to work at FedEx. He's not there anymore. But all the time, man. And this exact situation: boxes getting opened, items being removed, and boxes being sometimes sealed up, sometimes not even sealed up, and sent on their way. So it's not even a situation where like, oh, the package just got lost because somebody stole it. So, but you're right. Yeah, OnePlus is saying that they're working with the winner. They'll probably end up sending them another one, but or DHL maybe will have to cover it, and OnePlus will just send them another one.
Yeah, they said they're already sending out another one. I'm sure they'll send some goodies too, shirts and all that stuff.
Yeah, but it probably was lost in transit, is what OnePlus said.
Yeah.
But pretty funny stuff, man. Like on top of everything else, then they're shipping out And there were a lot of people that said that it might just be some kind of viral marketing so that this video could get online and everybody could talk about it and whatever.
Yeah, they've been good about the viral marketing, so they could be using all sorts of angles and seeing what catches. Because, I mean, how many times is it practically every day we hear the name of the phone? Yep. You know, one way or another. So it's the word's definitely getting out there that this thing exists, and a lot of people know about it.
Yeah, it's pretty funny, man. So we did have another question here too. John asked about Google in the car.
Yes.
So this was a pretty big deal, a couple of years ago that this was something that Google was working on, and then it just kind of got quiet. This year they announced, I forget the exact name of it, but it basically was like an
Open Automotive Alliance.
There you go. Yep.
Yes, CES.
Yep.
Because that's where Chevy or GM actually announced a partnership with AT&T for LTE and like their 2015 models.
Yep, it's Audi, GM, Honda, and Hyundai that are going to be doing the first, I guess, Open Automotive Alliance. Sorry, I even forgot it already.
No, that's all right, man.
Stuff. So I don't think other than that they really said a whole lot about it. This basically seems like Google's year to branch out into all kinds of crap.
They're always into all kinds of crap.
Well, yeah, but I mean, in terms of devices and putting Android in different things, we got Google Glass going public this year. We have Android Wear this year. We have the Google Automotive Alliance stuff this year. I don't know. They just seem to be going kind of crazy. It's like, all right, phones and tablets aren't enough. Let's go. Oh, and the TV.
Yeah, TV refresh.
Doing Google TV.
So, John, that's what happened with Google in the car. They're now focused on this Open Automotive Alliance, and the car stuff is so heavily regulated that it's really difficult to make headway. They're 7, 8, 9 years behind as far as having technology in the car, because you can only have certain types of touch screens. You can only have certain things display on those touch screens. You have to be focused on the road. So any extra things in the vehicle are really, really heavily regulated. So it's a really slow process. We'll have some really awesome stuff in the car, like probably 2016, 2017. Stuff that they're working on now, but has to go through all this regulation. So, still exciting stuff, and it's still being worked on. Apple's doing it. Google's put together this alliance. There's a bunch of car manufacturers on board. So, it is. Google wants all that data of all the places we're driving. They know where we are when we have our phones on us, but they want to be in the car too. So let's rewind a little bit. Back to some news here. The Galaxy S5, unsurprisingly, is selling like crazy. I think they said 11 million units in
25 days.
Yep. So it's outselling the Galaxy S4 by 10%.
It's doing pretty darn well.
Now, I believe these are numbers that Samsung. These are the number of devices that Samsung has shipped.
Yep.
It's not necessarily 11 million people have Galaxy S5s in their hands. But it's a great phone, man. It really is. The camera in outside situations, if the light's bright, the camera is phenomenal.
Yep.
And the low light stuff, they'll fix with a software update.
Maybe.
Yeah. I mean,
I have no hope there, but
it's possible.
Yeah.
Google fixed a lot of low light stuff on my Nexus 4 with their camera. Like, so it's just software. Whether or not Samsung gets around to doing it for the S5, we'll see. There's even with issues with low light photos, they're still selling a crap ton of them. So Sony is also selling a bunch of Xperia devices, which is exciting. They still reported a loss for last quarter, but it was less of a loss than the previous quarter.
That's also Sony as a whole, right?
Correct. Yeah. Yes, this is not just the mobile division. Now, the mobile division is doing really well, as is their gaming division. The PS4 is doing all
smoking.
Yes,
and the movie one is doing good too. God, I can't talk. Sorry. Not a good time to not be able to talk.
No, it's all right, man. It's all right. But yeah. So
it seems like it's like the camera division and probably the TV division that's not doing too well, because the camera division, I think it declined like 6 million units year over year. It was 17.5 in fiscal year 2012 and 11 point something in 2013. I mean,
PCs too. They're dropping the VAIO line, right?
Yeah, that too.
Yep, and then they just need to get out of TVs because not doing good.
Yeah, there's not any. The margins are so small in TVs, man. They'll get out of that just like they did. They're out of laptops now already, right?
Yeah,
that's
the last of the VAIO stuff is gone.
Yeah, so same
they
situation.
They just need to start selling their friggin' phones in the U.S. Get with it, guys.
Yep.
Well, they sell them here. Just
no, they don't. They don't really. They're on T-Mobile, but you know, how many people go to T-Mobile to buy an Xperia? Probably not a whole lot.
They might be on Verizon pretty soon.
Yes.
We've seen two. Now
They,
the first one, we've seen two renders. We'll get, we'll just skip we'll get to this HTC One remix stuff in a second, but
go back to it.
The one that Sony leaked on Google Plus, it was basically like the devices like this on like see the Verizon logo at the top. So everybody published it, obviously, because it's basically a leak. Then later on, Sony reached out to everybody saying that it was a mistake and it was just a mock-up and all that other stuff. Since when do companies put out mock-ups of devices with a Verizon logo?
Yeah, exactly.
And not put it on Verizon.
Yep, and I'm looking at the one here, the person holding it in rain, and there's a Verizon logo right smack in the back. It's really...
Yeah.
It's clear as day.
Because it's like Verizon puts their logo up here. Sony usually has it up here, but now Sony is going to be down here for the Verizon Z2. Is Verizon pushing their weight again?
Oh, Verizon.
I'm excited to see that Sony's at least working on this. This isn't a guarantee that they're going to launch the device, but we've seen this twice now, so we know that it's something that they're working on.
Yep.
So
I mean, it may not even get launched because we've seen devices before, especially for Verizon, leak out and never get launched, like the HTC Merge.
Holy smokes, dude! I was working for an authorized retailer when the Merge was in the works, and they told me that it was delayed because it was they were working on putting LTE in it because the Thunderbolt had just come out, and the Merge was going to be the second LTE device, and then it got delayed, and then they backpedaled and said, "Oh no, it wasn't LTE; it was a E911 issue," but it never got launched. So. Yep. So it wouldn't be the first time, and I'm sure that there have been at least a couple handful of other devices that they've tested and put through the ringer and just haven't made the cut at the end of the day. So.
Yep.
So maybe Sony does. They're doing well even without without a U.S. presence to speak of. They're still doing really well. So. Hopefully we'll see some more Sony devices. I just wanted the off-contract price to drop a bit because I'm definitely not spending $700 on a phone.
Yep.
But it's
not anymore.
Nope. Nope. Go get a Nexus 5 or a OnePlus One whenever they finally get released. Even if it's July or August when they finally figure everything out, that's fine. So. And then we saw the HTC Remix that Evleaks is saying it might be coming to Verizon.
What do we even know about this thing?
Just the name.
Besides the name. I mean,
yeah.
I almost wonder if it's like the camera from the Mini that they just announced, on the regular size one or something.
Well, what I heard earlier today, I don't know if it's real or not, is that the HTC One Remix is going to be the HTC One Mini 2 for Verizon. It'll probably be in red and all the stuff Verizon likes to do to their exclusives.
Yeah.
Which I'll be fine with that thing in red because it's got a 13 megapixel camera.
Yeah,
we
saw a red M8 leak out too with a retail box this week.
Yep.
But it looks really good, man. So, yeah, that would make sense. The Remix being the One Mini 2, which is now official, and it's the worst naming convention ever. HTC's got to fix this because
it makes no sense at all.
They didn't lay the foundation for that very well with the HTC One, and then keeping the One but changing the M7 M8 designation. The One Mini, they're just calling it the One Mini 2. So following last year's One Mini 1, yeah. So
no, One Mini 2 is the same size as the M7 from last year.
That's what's really funny.
Right.
The body size, it's 4.5 inches, and the M7 was 4.7, but the body is the same size.
Yep.
And aren't the bezels supposed to be smaller?
Yeah.
So that means it's going to be bigger than It's going to be bigger than the original One Mini was, which that one wasn't that much smaller than the regular M7. I actually really like that phone with the plastic on the sides and stuff. It was a really nice phone. I think it was like $99 on contract too.
It's only 720p display, which is not that big a deal, but they dropped the processor down to.
The internals are terrible.
Snapdragon 400 and 1 gig of RAM.
It's a friggin' joke.
Yeah.
I don't know. I like HTC, but sometimes I just want them to die.
The Snapdragon 400 is nothing compared to the 800, but it's not terrible. I mean,
are you seriously telling me that they needed to drop that stuff for a phone that's the same size as last year's? This makes no sense.
It's cost, man. They're probably going to sell it for $99 on contract, and it'll pretty quickly drop to $50 and then free on contract.
And aluminum isn't as cheap as plastic.
Yeah.
Which is why there's more plastic on that one, but I guess not enough to keep a 801 in there.
But do you know how many people I have heard say, "Oh, I love the HTC One, the M8, but it's too big."
Right.
Now here we go. Here's your smaller one. Oh no, it's a crap phone. Never mind.
If they'd have put a Snapdragon 600 in it with 2 gigs of RAM, or maybe even with 1, but
just buy last year's.
Probably needed 2. Right, and that's the thing. If I ever hear anybody talking about getting a One Mini 2, just go buy a M7.
Yeah, I don't see any reason to go with this thing. It just makes no sense at all.
Maybe the camera's
camera
better.
is, but
maybe the camera's better.
Maybe.
But the M8 camera is not getting. I mean, it's not fantastic, but it's getting okay reviews.
Yeah, I mean, from what I can tell, the thing takes fantastic pictures. Just don't blow them up.
Right.
Yep.
Right. So.
I don't know.
One Mini 2. Don't waste your time. Go get an M7. But.
Yep.
But that's official. And then Motorola announced some new phones too this week. The Moto E and the Moto G that we all know and love. They added LTE to it. So even better.
Yep, that's a budget phone that actually makes sense.
Yeah, now that it's got LTE, man, that's something that they're so cheap that the LTE Moto G is
$219 is what's rumored to be.
My power's flickering. Stop that, you.
Yay!
We got a real bad rainstorm and it just flickered. So.
Yeah, it's cool.
Yeah, we had that yesterday.
Yeah. If I lose power, I'll jump back on as soon as I can.
No
Fantastic. So yeah, the Moto G 4G, which is kind of a mouthful to say, but it's the exact same phone. They just stuffed LTE into it, which is awesome, and it's $219.99. I think is what it's going to be priced at. So, fantastic deal there. And then the Moto E is going to be like $129, I think. So,
yeah.
Dual core Snapdragon 1.2 gigahertz Snapdragon CPU, 1 gig of RAM, 5 megapixel camera on the back, running 4.4.2 KitKat. It's only got 4 gigs of internal storage, but it does have a micro SD card slot for $129. I mean, it's like if you got a kid or a parent or something that is on a smartphone or just needs something inexpensive, they're on a dumb phone, they want to step up to a smartphone, or they're for your child, man, this thing's fantastic.
I would still get the Moto G over the E because of LTE now.
I would too, but if I had if my kids were 9, 10, 11, 12 years old, whenever they end up getting a cell phone, I'm not that concerned with it. I'd rather spend $130 than $220.
Yeah, get the Moto E and put them on that $30 prepaid plan on T-Mobile.
Yep, it's a no-brainer. It's perfect.
Now, see, my only problem with it is there's no front-facing camera.
Right.
That was kind of killer. Really a shame, especially if you're going to use it in that situation. I mean, I'm thinking if I give my kid a phone, I'm probably going to want to video chat with him.
He's going to take selfies all day.
Yeah.
They'll do that regardless. I'm thinking more of like using it for Hangouts or Skype or something.
Right.
At least Motorola didn't put some feature in this that's named after selfie like Huawei and HTC did.
Oh my gosh, dude, those are so ridiculous. What they call it, the Grelfie?
Goofy is
Goofy.
FIE.
Selfie, yep. Dumb.
There's no words.
Totally ridiculous.
Completely. Oh yeah, the other thing the E has is the removable backs too.
Yeah.
Same spiel as the G.
Yep.
It's awesome.
Yep.
I like this trend.
So, and again, budget phones, but they run really well. The Moto E's got a Snapdragon 400 in it too, doesn't it?
Yeah.
Yes. Well, and you know what? The HTC One Mini 97.5 or whatever will run well as well. But it's down to price. You're paying $200 for something that HTC is probably going to charge $500 for.
Right, and the Moto E is going up head to head with Samsung's got basic phones that are like $300, $350.
Yep.
So the same phone in the Moto E is $130. It's a no-brainer.
Yeah, and they don't have crap software on them.
Yep.
And I think that's where Motorola's really gonna make their comeback is with devices like the Moto E and Moto G, because I mean, as we've seen, the Moto G is their most successful smartphone ever. But that's also their first smartphone that wasn't an exclusive to someone or somewhere.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Whereas all Droids, Atrixes, and Photons for Verizon, AT&T, and Sprint. And then the Moto X was North America only for the longest time.
And it was AT&T for the first month, wasn't it?
Well, Moto Maker was.
Well, yeah, but it's half the point of buying the phone.
Yeah.
Right.
Well, it was more than the first month. I think it was like the first 3.
You're probably
4
right.
months.
It's probably closer to, I don't know, whatever.
It was like October when it finally came out. October, early November when it finally came out for everyone.
So, yep, good times. Good times. I'm excited to see Motorola making a comeback. So, see what Lenovo does with them once they get that deal finalized. But in the meantime, they're doing really well. John had a question, and this is a good one. I don't know about you guys. Have you seen any S5s in the wild?
Yes, sir.
Have you?
Yes, I have a friend at work that had an S3, and he upgraded to an S5 2 weeks ago.
Nice.
Which is why I complained about the camera, because I did plenty of tests.
I'm not surprised that you did a bunch of tests.
It's the Note 3 with a few more megapixels. It's the exact same performance, etc., etc. You're not going to be getting anything different. So
yeah,
that's my assessment of it. Have fun.
Whenever Nick has something to complain about a phone, it's mostly going to be the camera.
Yep. That's good, man, because I don't know enough about taking photos to complain about the camera. So
yeah, I don't really take any photos either. I usually take photos of the phone.
Right. I take pictures of my kids and stuff, but nothing on Nick's level, so. But yeah, to answer your question, John, Nick has. I have not seen any in the wild yet. I have seen one M8, but I haven't seen an S5 yet when I'm out and about. So I'll have to keep an eye out for that. They're out there, but again, those numbers are how many Samsung shipped, not how many retailers have sold yet.
So yeah, I've seen quite a few M8s out there. Actually, I was surprised at it. I saw a lot of M7s last year too.
Yeah, I've seen a ton of M7s. Yeah.
I've probably seen more of those than I did the S4 and S5, but I see a lot of Samsung devices. You know, the low end stuff that like Metro PCS sells, and other prepaid carriers like that. I don't see a whole lot of flagships around here.
Oh, dude, I see a ton of Note 2s and some Note 3s and...
Yes, I've been seeing a lot more Notes and S4s lately, and I feel like particularly S4s probably because you can buy like one and get 4 free or something on Sprint.
Oh, Sprint is like buy one get 100 free.
Yeah, they're like, please just take these phones off our hands.
Right, just get rid of them for us already.
Yeah, I've seen a lot more Notes too. The Note and the Galaxy Mega 6.3, because I saw somebody when I was in class last fall, and I saw somebody walking down the hallway, and I'm like, is that a Note or a Galaxy Mega? And I looked at my phone because I was using a Galaxy Mega at the time. Like, oh no, that's a Galaxy Mega.
Wow. That's crazy, man.
I've seen like 2 or 3 Megas recently too. I don't know why recently. I mean, does anybody even sell the phone anymore?
AT&T, I think Sprint were the only ones that had it. I'm not even sure if Sprint really sold it, because I don't think we even got a review in it from them. I know we got one from AT&T, but the 6.3, man, that thing was huge, but the battery life was massive. Like insane. It was like 2-3 days.
Yeah, dude, that's crazy. That is crazy. What else? I think that was it for like hardware and news stuff.
But on here I can't remember anything else.
Yeah, I mean just the big important stuff this week. However, this is pretty cool. The Google Play Store now accepts PayPal payments. So if you're a PayPal fan, I know I use PayPal all the time. Pick up a debit card, and I actually have my PayPal debit card tied to my Play Store account, but now you can just do it right from PayPal.
Yeah, PayPal for 12 countries, I believe it is, and then Google Play gift cards in I think 13 more, so that you've got like half the amount of countries that can buy stuff in a Play Store can use Google Play gift cards now and carrier billing. So they're getting there.
The carrier billing too was expanded quite a bit.
Yeah, that Play Store update is rolling out now. I think it started rolling out like an hour ago.
Cool. Good deal. Yeah, it's exciting times, man. I mean, just more options. I'm all about that.
Yep.
Mozilla is going to be adding Chromecast support to Firefox Mobile soon also, which is pretty cool. So you can stream your whatever you're looking at in Firefox for Android, just throw it up on your TV. So,
which would be nice because you can't do that with Chrome yet, not mobile.
Right, and that's what I'm thinking that Firefox gets to this before.
It's gonna be really funny.
Chrome for Android team does, which is kind of cool. Like I don't know how often I would use it, but I'm sure there'll be times that I'm looking at a picture or something, and or a video.
Yeah, I mean the only thing Chrome has is if you go on the beta channel, you have to enable it, but it's got that most videos you can send to Chromecast now. I haven't run across any that you can't, but they say most.
Right, and I'm sure that that kind of support is obviously going to be on a kind of case-by-case basis, but I haven't run into anything yet that I can't throw up there.
Yep.
So that's pretty cool. That'll be rolling out sometime soon. They just said that they're adding it in, so Google's made that Chromecast support really simple to add into apps. So, and then if you ever need to type on your Google Glass, you can now load up the Minuum keyboard. That works on Google Glass now.
It's definitely interesting.
Yeah, I mean, good luck trying to figure it out. The point of the point of glass is that it's hands-free and that it's voice activated, right?
Yep.
But I guess if you ever needed to type something in, you can use the touchpad on the side of the glass unit.
Yeah, I don't know how you would know what you're touching.
It should show up on the display.
Well, yeah, but I mean, you're touching the side of your head. How are you going to know which key you're pressing? It doesn't have hover, does it?
You have to go to a mirror.
Yeah, I'm like...
so you can watch yourself.
Minuum's awesome, but it works so well because you can see the letter you're starting with.
Right. So I guess you have to, like, just touch a different letter and then... Yeah, I don't know.
It's cute, but I think it's just PR stuff.
Right.
They're like, hey, Minuum exists. Go try it. And it is really a good keyboard if you guys haven't tried it. So, I don't know. Give it a shot.
I played with it and, like, 2 days later went back to SwiftKey.
Yeah, I mean, I always do the same kind of thing. I always mess around with these. But, there's plenty of garbage keyboards out there. And I would say Minuum's definitely up there in the list of better ones. That's for sure.
Yeah, they don't fall into that garbage category. It's a good keyboard.
Exactly.
So, but that's pretty quick tonight. That's all I had on the agenda. We were really excited about some of the other stuff early on, so we hit it pretty quickly. But what's new in your world, man? Actually, hold on. Let's see. We got a question here too from Dean.
Yeah, he says we love our Sony phones here in the UK. Are you guys ever gonna get them over there? Gotta ask Sony.
We hope so.
Basically.
Yeah, we hope so.
I mean, we have them here. They're just really expensive, overpriced in my opinion.
Well, you can buy them off of Sony's website, just like a lot of other manufacturers do.
Yeah, they're like $700-800.
Yep, but T-Mobile's the only one that has the Xperia Z1 and the Z1S. Yeah, that's about it.
And being overpriced is not something that's atypical for Sony. You're always paying for the brand name, so you're tacking an extra $100 onto the retail price of that phone. But thanks for rubbing it in there, Dean. Appreciate that, man. But yeah, Alex, what's new in your world, man? What got any new apps or fun things you're playing with?
I got lots of new devices.
Sweet. Tell us about them.
So we've got the LG Optimus F3 here from Boost Mobile. It's a 4-inch device. It's really tiny. What they did do is the home button is actually a notification light, like it was on the LG Optimus G Pro from last year.
Yep, that was cool.
Notifications will light up the entire home button, which is one of my favorite things on that phone, besides the battery life, because it's like a 2400 milliamp battery inside here with a 800 by 480 resolution display, so it lasts forever. Then we have this is the ZTE Iconic phablet, but it's actually the Boost Max on Boost Mobile. It's huge and not all that pretty looking. And then we have the Blue Life Pure XL, which is a 5.5-inch device, 1080p, Snapdragon 800, 16 megapixel camera, 8 megapixel on the front, 3 gigs of RAM, 32 gigs of storage. It's like $399, so I mean it's kind of hard to pass that up.
That's one of those blue devices that is super fantastic, except it doesn't have LTE, right?
Yeah, this one doesn't, but the new Studio 5 LTE has it, and that was a Snapdragon 400, so they're getting away from MediaTek now.
Okay.
And the camera, it does like poke out a little bit, but it's pretty good camera, I think. I mean, it's taking pretty good shots for me. It is a 16 megapixel, so I kind of expect them to be good.
Right.
I think that's pretty much it. Well, I got this thing too, which from what I can tell, it's basically like it's like an extender for any speaker that you can turn any speaker into like a Bluetooth speaker. But I don't know how I'm gonna use it because all the speakers I have are Bluetooth.
So does it just plug into the headset jack?
Yeah. Hang on, I can take it out.
It's kind of a neat concept if you've got like a dedicated home stereo or home entertainment system.
All those ports there on the back. It's got an antenna and everything.
Yeah, I like that.
Yeah, if you don't have, if you've got some kind of home entertainment system that doesn't have Bluetooth support.
It's really small too, so you can just like set it on your desk or sit it near even your router, as long as it doesn't mess with the signal of your router.
Yeah, it shouldn't. It's Bluetooth. I like that because then you just use your phone, and you don't have to worry about using a device like your gas, using a computer or whatever. You know.
Yeah, it's from Amped Wireless. Yeah, Amped Wireless. I didn't even know it was coming, so.
Nice.
And a few things on my phone. I started using HD widgets again, so I'm not using Dash Clock now because I have a new theme. I think it's Cairo or something like that. So I put that on here, and the wallpapers from 7 years ago. He did the flat T icon pack, and I'm still using filler icons.
Beautiful.
And I think that's about it.
Is that the beta HD widget?
I don't think so. I don't think I'm in a beta.
Because they have that new beta. I don't remember what version it is, 4.0 or something like that. You should go jump on it since you have it already. I don't even own it, so I can't.
Well, 4.0.5 is already in the Play Store.
Maybe it's 5.0. I don't know. Whatever the next version is. Go check the beta channel. You'll probably like it.
I'll probably check it out later on.
Yeah, good plan.
But yeah, that's about it for me.
Cool, man. Nick, what about you, bud? What's new?
I've been playing. I was telling you guys before the show. I've been playing some new score attack games with some friends. One of them is called 100 Balls, and then the other one is what the heck is it? I already forgot. Super something or other. I lost it. Come on. No, I'm an idiot. All right, here we go. Super Ball Batting. It's Flappy Bird style stuff. It's like one-touch little simple games. You got to time them exactly right, or else you lose. And Super Ball, whatever, I can't remember what the name of it is anymore. You hit a either the baseball or a bomb that gets thrown at you, and of course, if you hit a bomb, you die, and then you're over. So 3 strikes, you're out, or hit a bomb. That's about it for the phone. The only other thing I got was I got this Sedio case for the Note 3. It is one of those like OtterBox style bigger cases, but the nice thing about this one is it's waterproof. And nice. I decided to take the leap and drop my Note 3 in the fish tank, and it worked.
Brave man.
I was like, you know what? Well, what I did first was I stuck some paper in here just to see. All right, well let's leave this in here, and I left it in the thing for a half hour.
You put some paper in the case and then dropped the case
in the case, and then I put the case down in, and I put a rock on it and let it sit at the bottom for a half hour. You know, I saw air bubbles coming up, and I'm like, this thing's doomed. So I pull it out and completely dry inside.
Nice.
You know what? The heck with it. I'll be crazy and do it. So I got some nice pictures of that thing sitting in the fish tank. Hopefully I get my review up for it tomorrow. But hey, it works. If you don't mind a slightly bulky case, you know, like an OtterBox style, then it's pretty nice, and it comes with a little holster too, little belt clip thing.
That is not a little holster.
No. Well, you know what though? I have seen plenty of people with Notes and those style cases, so obviously they sell.
Oh, dude, for sure.
I'm not a person that likes any cases on my phone, but I know a good case when I see it, and this one works.
Yeah, that's what's up, man. So I have been using the heck out of an app. I think, Nick, you told me about this in the Hangouts chat, an app called Showbox.
Yes.
Love it, man. So Showbox assumes all responsibility for any and all illegal activity that might happen on this app. But basically, you stream movies and TV. So, like, you can add stuff to your library, but it's things that, like, Game of Thrones, 24, Vikings.
It's got pretty much everything.
Current seasons of Adventure Time. Yeah,
Yeah, it
man.
has everything on there, dude. It's ridiculous.
So
I'm surprised it's still around.
Yeah, I'm kind of surprised it still works too.
It's apparently been around for years.
Mhm.
I just found out about it, like, I don't know, whenever I told you the other week.
Yeah.
I've been using it since I think like November, December of last year.
Nice.
But I don't use it like all the time because I use Netflix a lot.
I still use Netflix a lot too, but stuff like Game of Thrones or the new 24. I think there's only the first 2 seasons of Adventure Time on Netflix. This has got everything, Parks and Rec, like stuff that you would have to pay, or watch on Hulu, or download from iTunes or wherever you could buy it. This stuff is streaming all on here. What's cool is it works with Allcast to throw the show to your TV.
Yep.
So, it's great. It's great. I haven't really been watching Game of Thrones because it wasn't. I couldn't get it very easily, and I didn't have anybody's HBO Go logins. So now I'm catching up on that. I've been meaning to watch The Wire. I just haven't got around to it. So that's all on there. What else? Current episodes of Archer and Community, Brooklyn Nine-Nine, Cosmos with Neil deGrasse Tyson. So yeah, you can. It's kind of cool too because it lists up at the top when you pull it up. It lists movies, TV shows, and then there's a My Library, and then it shows you updates. So you can see when you first pull it up how many new shows are available. But the stuff that I want to watch, I just added it to my library, and now I hit that, and I can jump right in. Up-to-date episodes of Mad Men, all kinds of stuff, man. True Detective. I haven't been able to find True Detective streaming. I mean, it's HBO, but again, I don't have an HBO Go set up. So you can download the episodes to your device, whether it's your phone, your tablet, or whatever, or you can stream them. I just stream them. It gives you the option usually between like a low quality and a high quality. Sometimes it'll give you a low, a mid, and a high quality. I've found, now I've got Fios. I'm paying for I think 25 down and 25 up. And the high quality streams usually stutter, which is strange. Because
I was going to actually ask you about your experience because I've kind of run into that too. And I wasn't sure, because I use Avia instead of Allcast. I wasn't sure if maybe it was some kind of weird Avia thing or if it was actually this, because I don't ever stream it off the phone.
Yeah, no, it's not.
Weird because it doesn't buffer or anything on mine when I'm using the high quality.
What's your internet speed?
It's like 25 down and about 5 to 8 up.
I don't know.
Maybe it's because Chromecast is like right next to my router.
Maybe.
Mine's literally right next to my router too. I don't know. Who knows where this stuff comes from? So it could just be some kind of weird bandwidth issue from whatever pipe it runs through.
Right. And I figured it was on their end because I have no problems with HD Netflix. I have no problems with HD Hulu.
Yeah, and I'm the same way when I watch Amazon Instant Video. I never, ever, ever have it buffer, and it runs like perfect HD.
Yep.
Well, I love Amazon Instant Video now.
Yeah, it's fantastic.
I just started using it like a couple weeks ago.
Good stuff.
Really? Maybe I'll revisit that. I used it a while ago and.
There's a lot of good stuff in there now, especially if you're a Prime member, because you still got to pay extra for some other stuff, but a lot of the free stuff that comes with Prime is a lot better than it was like a year or two ago.
Yeah, it was pretty useless, I would say, a year or two ago. And
yeah, but now there's a lot of good stuff there.
Yeah, well, they've started finally signing contracts and getting more exclusive content and stuff like that, so it actually makes a little more sense to use it.
The HBO stuff is going to be there, I think, next month or this month.
Yes, yeah. I forgot about that.
Yep, they're working on that.
So with the Fire TV, it's going to be awesome.
But you can just get it on Showbox.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, so Showbox, I don't believe is available in the Play Store.
Nope.
No.
I did the sideload it.
Yeah, and I'm not gonna link it.
You can Google it. It's like the second link. It's not real hard to find.
Yeah, just Google Showbox.
You know, I think the only weird thing about it, and I didn't realize this until you said the updates, you actually have to click the updates tab for it to update the other tabs. It's because I'm wondering. I kept going to movies and shows. I'm like, man, they haven't added anything in like 3 weeks. What the heck's going on with this thing?
Right.
click updates, now I have like 3 pages worth of stuff on there.
Yeah. Yeah, and that's all it is. You just got to hit that. But
It's a little strange.
I typically have to stream it either medium, or low quality. Now, even the low quality, I think it depends.
Yeah,
sometimes it's like 480p. Sometimes it's a little bit higher than that.
Yeah, medium's been pretty decent, honestly.
Yeah, I don't notice a big difference. And again, it's free, and it shows that now I don't have to torrent The Walking Dead when I want to watch the most recent episode. I mean,
yeah, and I think the only other weird thing that I ran into, we were trying to watch 47 Ronin the other night, and it kept coming up on Chromecast as some kind of invalid file.
Yeah.
So I ended up going to Redbox and just renting it because I wanted to watch it.
Yeah. So yeah, and maybe I'm a little bit behind on that, but it's a great app, man. Showbox with Allcast in there.
Yep, Allcast or Avia. Float your boat.
Yeah, if you like Avia better.
I don't know what else is out there that. I mean, I just have Avia because that was the first one that you could send stuff to Chromecast.
Right.
Yeah, same thing for me.
I jumped on that as soon as they announced that.
Yep, and Avia might be. Is Avia totally free, or do you pay for it?
No, it's $3 for Chromecast support.
Okay, that's Allcast is the same way. I think it's $4.99. It gives you you only get a couple of minutes to see if it works or not, and then
one.
Yeah, and then you got to pay
one
for
whole minute.
Which is fine. I use it all the time, so it's worth the $5 for me. And honestly, I didn't pay for it anyway because I got all that credit with Google's the surveys. So
yeah,
at least you get credit from it.
The reward surveys, 25 cents at a time over the last few
I'm lucky if I get 25 cents. I've been getting like 10 and 15 cents lately. It's driving me nuts.
I got 16 on the last one. I was pretty stoked.
I think I'm finally up to $1 in my account now. I'm like, oh my gosh, I could buy an app.
Yep. But yeah, so I've been using that. I've also been playing a little bit with the remote desktop that's available now. So Google rolled that out to the Play Store, the remote desktop app. So
an official one?
Yeah.
I had not heard of this.
Yep. So
really? It came out the same day the Google camera did.
Yep.
Yeah, I don't know what to say.
So yeah, you just download
the Chrome remote desktop.
Yes, the Chrome remote desktop.
Okay, never mind. I knew about that.
Yeah.
Keep going.
No, I mean there's not a lot to it. It's pretty straightforward, but it works. I've also been using Comixology. So I used to read a lot of comics when I was a kid, and just kind of got out of it. The other week or week and a half ago, Comixology ended a promotion where you could get like 129 issues, I think, for free, and it was all just like the first issue of whatever. There was a bunch of stuff on there, The Walking Dead. There's all kinds of stuff there, and they give you the first issue so that then you go buy the next one after you read it and you like it. So I've been using that just because I got a bunch of stuff on there to read now. So that's been fun.
Yep, I have a bunch of friends that use that and love it.
Dude, yeah, it's great. It's great. Even with I went through the website to get all that stuff set up because now that Amazon bought Comixology and removed the in-app purchases, womp womp, because they didn't want to give Apple a cut or Google a cut. So now it redirects you to the Amazon website if you try and purchase something from your device. But you can purchase it from the website and then just push it to your device the same way you would download an app from the Play Store and push it right to your phone. So, yeah, that's kind of new apps this week. And then I also got this hulking beast of a speaker. Woo! This thing is giant, dude. So I feel like old school, like big hip hop dude walking down the street with a boombox on my shoulder. This is the G Boom by, what's the name of the company? G Project. So the G Project G Boom. It's huge. It's the size of like a big. Oh, Alex, dude, I just noticed you're wearing your OnePlus shirt.
Oh yeah.
But it sounds great, man. I fired it up. I got it this afternoon, so I talked to was Natalie. I wrote the review for the Sound Freak alarm clock a couple weeks ago, and had a really good interaction with their social media team on Twitter, and just it was a lot of fun. It was a great speaker. So she sent me an email right after that review went up. It was like 2 weeks ago now, and said, "Hey, we got some speakers and stuff too for the G project. Do you want me to send you something?" And I forgot about it. Started a new day job and went off to training for that, and just forgot that she'd emailed me. So 2 days ago, I emailed her and said, "Hey, I'd love to check out this outdoor speaker. It's rugged. It's supposed to sound really good. You know, it's loud. Some of the other speakers I've gotten are pretty small." So she said, and then yesterday she emailed me back and said, "Yeah, I'll get it to you." Today it showed up, so she overnighted it to me. Sounds great. It's actually got some low end punch to it. Distorts a bit when they turn it up all the way.
It even looks bigger than the Disco 4 from Super Tooth.
Oh, it's bigger than that, man.
This one is really light considering how big it is. It's like super light.
No, this thing is heavy, man.
This one's like $25 too.
I probably shouldn't bounce it off the microphone. Yeah, the G Boom is giant, man. You can see it on my shoulder. I mean, it's hanging up my whole shoulder.
That's straight up 80s right there.
Before my time.
Alex said earlier, it looks like a toolbox. And you could open it up and pull a drill out of it. And
it does. It does look like a drill box.
Yeah.
But it sounds good. Now, I was a little bit bummed because it's only got a 1,500 milliamp hour battery in it. It's only rated for like 5 hours of playback, but it takes 3.5 hours to charge. So it'll probably that's what's on the box with this standard. I think it's only a 1 amp output charger, so it'll charge faster with a 2 amp charger.
That's pretty sad for that size of a speaker. I hope the sound really makes up for it.
It sounds pretty good. I haven't, like I said, I just opened the box and played with it, put some music on while I was making dinner. So I'll have that review up probably about a week or so. But yeah, just giant beast of a speaker. So good times. But yeah, I think that's going to do it for the show tonight. So exciting times. We'll have the podcast up. I'll have that up tonight. So make sure you go to AndroidHeadlines.com, find either the podcast post or the post about episode 59. Go download the podcast, take that with you, listen to it this weekend. We are obviously at AndroidHeadlines.com, but you can also find us on Twitter at AndroidHeadline without the S. Google Plus, we're super active on Google Plus. Facebook, wherever you like to get your news. Send us an email too if there's anything that you want us to talk about, anything that you're excited about, anything that we missed that we should have talked about this week. Any cool new apps? We're always looking for new apps and stuff. There's so much stuff out there that, like Showbox, that we just haven't heard of.
Yeah.
So shoot us an email. Let us know. All of our emails are listed on the about or the staff section on AndroidHeadlines.com. So. But yeah, it's always a good time. Nick, Alex, thanks for hanging out tonight, man.
No problem.
Yep.
See you later.
See ya.